I am so happy to be here today. It is a long time coming that I was planning to come visit Toledo, and I just want to, first and foremost, thank you for the invitation, for inviting me to your community. And I want to recognize and acknowledge the presence of the mayor, our superintendent of schools, elected officials, and others that are in the audience today. Thank you for your support on this. It's very important. So I am Tauheedah Jackson. I am the Deputy Director for EdRedesign and the Director for the Institute for Success Planning at EdRedesign Lab at the Harvard Graduate School of Education. That is a lot to say that I get the awesome opportunity to come to communities and to help build, scale, and sustain initiatives like success planning. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about is I just want to make sure I acknowledge, before I go on, to acknowledge Art Tatum Zone for their hospitality, for welcoming me to the community, and for their leadership in this effort. So can we give them a round of applause for applying? And I want to say congratulations to all of you for being one of 16 communities nationwide selected for this opportunity. So give yourselves a round of applause. As a participant in the success planning community of practice, the opportunity was afforded to communities who have demonstrated success through cross-sector collaboration, have made significant efforts to build on infrastructure and make transformative change toward better outcomes for children, youth, and families. Your community selection is a result of all of your collective action. As a part of the community of practice, you will receive coaching, technical assistance, monthly sessions, in-person sessions, peer-to-peer learning, and other resources. But most importantly, it provides an opportunity to be able to change the narrative and to be able to change outcomes for all of the little people we see standing behind us in the audience today, but across Toledo. It is an opportunity to allow young people to dream big, to really change some of the circumstances. For me, this work is personal. Right? I grew up in Bridgeport, Connecticut, and had similar outcomes, and the data should not define the outcome or the opportunity that young people have. You could have checked every box off on me, that I grew up in poverty, that all of the things, right? But that was not the narrative that my parents or that my community forwarded, and allowed me to really think through how I can have viable pathways to success. So this work, to me, and I'm quite sure to a lot of you, is personal work, and we're called to do this. And as we think about doing the work, we have to think about how we are providing the opportunity for young people to be able to create their own narrative. While we provide extensive support and we are a field catalyst, we do not partner with communities as experts. So coming from the perch of Harvard, a lot of times people think that you're walking in, being the sage on the stage or an expert. But what I want to offer is that we walk alongside you because you are expert in your community, and we are really thinking about how we can create innovative strategies to solve for the one-size-fits-all that has not worked for decades and decades, right? How are we disrupting some of the patterns of disparities that we've seen across this country? I'm blessed to have the opportunity to travel across the country in communities large, small, urban, rural, and have witnessed the spirit of community and the willingness of people to come together across boundaries and ideologies to support the success of young people. In places like Dayton, Ohio, success planning serves as a unifying strategy that is helping to move the needle on positive directions on outcomes like third grade reading, one of the things that you all are probably focused on as well. So Toledo has displayed that same willingness and that same spirit through an ongoing effort to come together around a shared vision and ensuring that there is more access and opportunity for all kids. What we say at EdRedesign is all means all. So it doesn't mean the easiest to reach. It doesn't mean some of the kids. It means all of the kids. So it is not our prerogative to be able to pick and choose, right? We have to make sure that all kids have the opportunity to thrive and not just survive. So we're moving beyond a state of survival and really thinking about thriving to be able to meet their best potential. You have collectively committed to respond to a call of action and are willing to contribute your resources and energies across sectors to address many of these disparities. In communities across the country, we see the same problems persist: chronic absenteeism, increased mental health and physical health needs, food insecurity, basic needs, increased needs for basic needs, and then also inefficient housing. These disparities do not have to define opportunities and access. By building, scaling, and sustaining a success planning initiative, you have the opportunity to change those outcomes and eliminate barriers and provide opportunity. So what is success planning? And I won't go into too much detail in interest of time, but each young person will be connected with a caring adult, which we call a navigator. It, to me, is going back to the old ways of being, to being in right relationship with young people where communities took care of them. I remember growing up, and I often tell the story that Miss Rose on my street, if I rode my bike past the stop sign, Miss Rose was going to tell my parents I rode my bike past that stop sign. Right? It is how do we get back into right relationship and a young person know that somebody cares about them, that there's somebody there that is going to ask them about their day, that is going to help them navigate some of the things in life that are challenges. And as we think about that, how do we collectively as a community change our mental model around who can serve as a navigator, who can be that caring adult? I'm quite sure if all of you think back, there's somebody along the way on your continuum or progress, whatever your journey is, that probably leaned in and said, you know what, you can do this, or encouraged you to dream big, or challenged you to be your best self. How do we create those opportunities for our young people as we think about challenging the data and the disparities I just named? So the other part of this is creating that plan of action for young people to have voice and agency on what that looks like, and along with their community and families, and really thinking about how we ensure that there is a system of supports, cradle to career, that allows young people to have access and opportunity to be able to be supported in that way. And then lastly, the data really informing the practices across the community. So you all have been working collaboratively and really thinking about how you have come together across different sectors, whether it is the United Way, the housing, the city's efforts, the efforts that you all are doing in the Junction neighborhood, the community schools efforts that you all have, and really thinking about how you continue to build on that. Young people only spend about 20% of their time in schools. And while schools are critical and are necessary for academic success, we have to think about whole child approaches that address that other 80% of the time that they are in community and that broader ecosystem. So success planning will provide an opportunity for you to meet a collective call to action to address the disparities that we witness in zip codes across the country. While the issues are the same, the approaches must be tailored and fit the local context. Honor community wisdom, leverage community assets, and build on existing efforts. This is generational work. In one generation, the outcomes of many of our families were able to be changed, and this is the kid by kid, not a one-size-fits-all, to see what we can do to be able to help them change their outcomes. If not now, then when? And if not you, then who? So I encourage you to continue to support this effort. Leadership matters, so it is the persistent pursuit of justice, passion, commitment, and inspiration of leaders like Calvin and Christine Sweeney and all of you collectively that have brought you to this point. So we want you to encourage you to continue to write the narrative of hope and change the headlines to highlight the accomplishments of our young people, families, and broader community. Great things are happening in Toledo. We are honored to partner and walk alongside you as a part of this amazing journey.